Hey, Max here. So, a lot of people questioning which team builder is the best. Which one should I go ahead and grab? And today we're going to go through that. We're going to order them from 1 to 32. There's one for each team. Now, a lot of team builders are a waste of coins, okay? Because there's comparable players for less coins. A lot of positions that are not like very valuable in Madden. We'll go through that. But you know, obviously, some people just want to put together a theme team. So get whoever's on your theme team if you want them. Don't let this list dissuade you from grabbing a few of the cards. But let's go ahead and at number 32 to me, right off the bat, is Mr. Nunez. I don't know. Roches? I actually don't know how to say the last name there. So Nunez right here. Why don't we like him? I probably should have done this on mutt.gg. Here it is. Okay, so he is a defensive tackle. He's a run stopper. The issue is he isn't really thick. 307's okay, and I think that's the problem, right? Block shed at 82, it's fine. Weight 307, it's fine. But what you're going to cost to put together this card, it's absolutely not worth it. He's also at 70 speed. Not any better than, say, DeForest Buckner's card, who's a couple overall lower and cheaper than this. So, you know, for that purpose, I'm going to have to pass. Also, they don't really, they get abilities, but they're not abilities that matter. And that's going to basically be all of these team builders. Some of them are okay, but most abilities you're going to get are pretty underpowered as it is. So let's go ahead and look at number 31 on my list. Neiman. Okay? Neiman. Are these alphabetized? I don't know how to find them. Neiman's a middle linebacker. And as you guys know in this game, middle linebackers don't jump, right? It's a position of very little need. Unless you're running a 3-4 blitz or like some sort of like, you know, nano from a heavy set like that where you need a middle linebacker. I still think he's not good because he's not very fast compared to some of the other middle linebackers we're about to get to. Block shed, play rack, it's nothing too important. His weight's not that high versus the other linebackers we're about to look through. We also have, let's actually do like 4 of it. I'm gonna do all the way up to 26. There's a lot of guys that are basically linebackers here, okay? And it's all the same story. Like, if you can't cover and you're about that same weight, it's not like they're 270 pounds and absolute thumpers with deflator or anything. A lot of these guys, Gilbert, like I said, in the 230s range. Attributes, I think he's a little bit faster at 83, watch why he's a little bit higher on my list right there. 85 block shed, a run stopper, 6 foot. So, good in the run, not good in the pass. And I feel like if you're a one-dimensional player, it's not something worth spending at this point. These are like hundreds of thousands of coins, like 200,000 coins. It's a little bit less to put them together. What, 198, I guess, right there. Gilbert's on my list. Nakobe Dean. Where is Dean? Dean's similar thing. I'm not going to really go through his stats. We also have Cochran's, I think, an outside linebacker. Yeah, he's an outside linebacker. And you're like, oh, outside linebackers, those are nice. Well, he doesn't have any sort of pass rushing abilities. So as an outside linebacker, you know, he's got 52 power, 46 finesse. He'd be terrible on the edge. Like I said, block shed, speed in the 230s. At least he's 6'3", I guess, so he's a little bit bigger of a body out there. But, man, it sucks not having your linebackers jump again. Who else did we have? We had Welch's Grape right here, middle linebacker. Similar story. Talked about Gilbert, Cochran, Tufele. Right here. Defensive tackle. Say exactly what I said. Like, just run the tape back about Roaches, about Tufele. It's the same exact story. All right, number 25. So this is going to be all the way up through, is it right here? It's what I like to call the lineman wall. So the lineman wall from Jalen Moore. Where is Moore? At the top. Like, all these things are very similar. I put Moore up top, right tackle. He's all right. And, like, they're all fine. But they're expensive. It depends on how much you want. Because I feel like when you're building a squad, in real life, building in the trenches outward, like if you're like the Eagles, incredibly great to do, right? They're always spending first-round draft picks on interior defensive linemen, best offensive line in the league last year. And that's very successful. But in MUT, it's not really that way. Linemen are good, but they're not super needed, right? Dwayne Brown, they're not like insane difference makers. Like a few points of speed will allow Tyreek Hill to burn past a few different cornerbacks in this game. Okay, so that's kind of where I say is the lineman wall. Really, it's a positional need, and spending that much, especially early in MUT on a lineman, I feel like is definitely not worth it. So that's why they're kind of like low round. So like everything 18 and below, and even a few more, I feel like definitely aren't worth getting for team builders. Okay, all right, number 17 on my list then. So we'll go back to the list. Is probably the worst of like the skill position players. Tutu Atwell. I don't like this card due to, like I said, talked about speed being important. Also, height. Height is very important in real life in Madden. And while 84 speed is nice, there is an 84 overall receiver for... Is he on the Chiefs now? Oh, wow, I can't... Kadarius Toney, who's got 85 speed. Okay, much cheaper, a much better thing. And I know you gotta run like 3 receivers at times and stuff, but I don't think Tutu at 5'9" is really worth it for what you want to do on the field. Now the bonus is obviously 86 agility is kind of cool. Change direction 86, so he's a little bit more nimble with the left thumbstick, which is fine. But I don't like his slight frame. That means he's gonna be set up and it'll be easier to tackle, especially with hit sticks. He's gonna get boomed like that in the game with how much weight. I mean, weight matters. It's not the end all be all, but weight definitely matters. I'm going to go Nyheim Hines. You know what's so interesting about these running backs, and we'll get to there's one other running back in this list in a little bit, is they are so different. Nyheim Hines, I feel like really got the short end of the stick when you look at a lot of the comparable ratings. Actually, let's go to mutt.gg so I can show you their ratings next to each other a little bit better. Like when you look at the different, like just like look at these front few stats. Nyheim Hines, 85, 85, that's fine. But carrying, change direction, truck, break, tackle, all go D'Ernest Johnson's way. And you'll be like, oh yeah, catching is a deal. Don't get me wrong, it's fine. He's also got a nice return. Kick returns are crazy overpowered right now. Change of direction, I talked about 80. Catching 80, I guess, is the reason why you get Nyheim Hines. But I've been running with this D'Ernest Johnson. I really haven't seen him drop the ball. Generally, running backs aren't catching the ball that much in traffic. So I guess if you want a few more points to receiving, you get the receiving back. But I really don't like the lack of everything else that they kind of boned Nyheim Hines out of as far as physical skills, breaking tackles, trucking past things, etc. All right, number 15, Weekly. I don't mind this card. I think the edges in team builders are some of the better edges in the game. And really they're surpassed by, you know, the 86 overalls, like some of the TJ Watts, Parsons, obviously. A little bit better, okay, don't get me wrong. But I think like they're fairly priced as far as the production to overall value you're going to get out of them. 80 speed is, I think, the slowest of the edges, and his power move is lower than a few we'll see. But I think overall, it's a fine card, and that's all I got to say about it, right? 261. Generally, your edges are getting hooked this year because of stretch being really good. So you want the block shed being high to get off that. I've seen TJ Watt make some plays. So I'm a Steelers fan. I went and bought him. That I didn't see out of my other edges. So edge play matters quite a bit, but there's nobody with the ability, the no outsiders ability yet, to my knowledge. So nothing really big there. So Quiddy's fine. I'm gonna go with go up a little bit to LJ. One more, not the 2K, but Collier. All right, so LJ. It's kind of going like, what do you feel about the menus this year? It feels like they're slightly better than last year, but they ain't everything yet. So LJ, another edge, 81 speed with 85 power move. Now his block shed is a couple points lower, but he is heavier. So I don't know what you believe in weight as far as run blocking and everything. Agility is low. Change of direction is really low. So you are trading off a little bit of the Quiddy for this card. But I put him basically back to back for edge play. Collier's a very nice power move to get to the quarterback type of guy. All right, lucky number 13, Jonathan Cooper. Okay, Cooper. Isn't a Cooper somebody that works with copper? No, Is that where they got that name from? Is that like name history? All right, where's Cooper? I should really just be on mutt.gg, and I gotta do these mid things while I'm looking for their cards. These mid-roll of me killing time to find the cards. All right, block shed at 81. A little bit lighter than the last card, but like he's an edge. He's gonna get off on 81 block shed. Change of direction, still not great. Agility a little bit better there at 78. But overall, as you can see, I feel like this is a little bit like more impressive as an edge. I think that's also the highest power move in the game. 86s. I think there's a couple guys, Bosa and Watt, that have 87 finesse. But I think 86 power move is tied with the top in the game for this Jonathan Cooper card. So it's right up there. Right up there with some of the best cards, at least on edge in this. And then I'm going to go number 12, another edge, Dante Fowler. So this is even faster edge. Fowler, he's 83 speed. So that's not too foul. Is it? Is it? Okay, I'll just shut up until we get to the card stats. I'm also not a big fan of. I like the catalog, but man, it's just like whatever. So this is a finesse move, straight speed guy around the edge. A couple points lower in finesse move than we saw Cooper with power move, but still, he's a pure pass rusher, and I actually don't mind the high speed, high acceleration, agility. Now his change of direction is low, but like I talked about before, there is quite a bit of animation at work on the edge. So the guys can make plays that are higher end block shed, but a lot of times you're just stuck in animation frequently. But, you know, Fowler, I don't mind his speed because if you can keep the edge, like he'll be able to contain quarterbacks because quarterbacks escaping is kind of a big deal in this year's game. So having that higher end acceleration speed combo is really nice as far as setting the edge and keeping it around on the guys scrambling outside of you. All right, we're going to go with Mechie the third right there at, what was that, number 11-ish? There's Gilbert the third. Wait, they got two guys. We got 2 thirds in this one, huh? That's not bad. It's not a bad ratio. Where's the 2 thirds? Where's the second third? Am I blind? Gilbert. There it is. He's all the way up here. All right. So, John on the Texans, 85 speed, 87 jump. So 5'11". So not like a really big guy, but I do like the speed, agility 86, change direction 85. So he's solid out there on the thumbstick. Not like crazy, but he's pretty good. One of the better ones as far as ball in his hand or even just out in space getting open with the speed. And I think this card can play, especially if you had that theme team boost on him. I do not mind actually one bit. And then I'm going to go one more than him. I don't know. I had trouble whether I liked Chenault a little bit better than this card. I went, you know, like 5'11" is fine. It really is. I mean, we've done a lot of damage with Tyreek Hill, who's like, what, 5'9", I think, listed in game. I don't know, but there's something about Chenault that I just enjoy using. I don't know what it is about the card. I have not used him this year, so this is based off previous year experience. And he is slower at 83 speed. Acceleration 85, a change direction 87. So a little bit better and more nimble on the left thumbstick when you get the ball after the catch. So it's a bigger dude. Maybe he'll run forward and fall forward on tacklers against the DBs. Much more than anybody, like much more than the previous wide receivers because of his 227 weight. So overall, like Chenault's not like a burner, but he's kind of like a underneath, like more power running, nimbler type of player than other ones. 85 break tackle is also pretty nice for that at this point of the game. So, yeah, I'm okay. I like this Chenault, even though maybe his speed stat doesn't pop as much as other ones. What's his run block? His run block is 59. That's actually pretty good for a receiver, too. I didn't even look at the 59 run block. All right, so Chenault number 10 for me for being like an every down receiver, too, since he can stay out there and run block against a lot of guys that have lower blocks than that. Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes, I think Howard Hughes' grandkid. I think he took a few flights in the Spruce Goose. I believe that is totally accurate. Is Hughes at the bottom? All right, here we go. Mike Hughes, CB. So, not my favorite CB in the team builders. 84 speed and 5'10". He's also a man coverage guy. I think man coverage early on is good. It's not great. It isn't great. And I think so this card is very scheme dependent. If you play more man than zone, this is okay. I prefer personally play more zone than man. I do mix in man once in a while for sure, especially if I'm blitzing a little bit more in the game. I don't feel like it's got that anything it factor that I want to see out of a card. You know what I'm talking about? So he's good, and I think he's valuable, but compared to the other corners in this one, this is probably my least favorite corner. I just think corner is such a valuable position, and there's not very many good ones. There are some good budget ones in the game right now. It's the reason why Stingley is so expensive outside of like a just straight up set value for him. He goes for like 20K because he's a good budget card. So Mike Hughes, I don't know. I think he's good, but I don't think he's great. So he's number 9 for me as far as the cornerbacks, because there's, you know, some good corners, right? Just like back in my day, I used to run some good corners. Keeman Hall is right here at 8. Here's his CB. All right, number 8 for Keeman, 84 speed, 5'11". But this is basically the same card. Now that I'm looking at it again, I kind of forgot for a second, but yeah, they're basically the same card. 84 speed, not really big. So he's number 8. But they could be either way though. I didn't really care. Either one of them could have been 8 or 9. Kyler Gordon, number 7. I think we're gonna get to a different card here. I think, if memory serves correct. Kyler. This one is not addicted to Call of Duty. Where you at? There you are. Bears corner. I wonder if he's learned the peanut punch yet. 84 speed, 6 foot. So we're gaining an inch. He's also more zone based. And for that reason, he is based. I do like the zone. Change direction 85 is nice. And so that's why he's the higher rated of this trio, is the fact that he's zone. I think we got one more corner to go. But yeah, 85 Kyler Gordon. I like it. I don't know. But like I said, your scheme might be different. So here's the halfback we looked at earlier, Jonas Johnson. I don't think I'm going to look at him again because I like the stats, and we talked about it earlier in the video. But he's number 6 because he looks good. He looks really good compared to the top backs in the game. Josh Reynolds here at 5. Related to Dennis. Not as creepy, though. And he doesn't talk about the implication of boats very often. All right, where you at, Reynolds? There you are. Josh Reynolds. 84 speed receiver. 6'3". And that's why he's ranked high. I like big bodies, and I cannot lie. Okay? 6'3", 192. Stats are pretty average, low 80s across the board. Yeah, I mean, this like his stats look like a lot about like my grades in school. A lot of low 80s. B's get degrees, boys, and so do C's. Unless you have too many C's, then they kick you out. 2.0 average ain't gonna work. Joey Blunt, he's no Mel, but he plays a solid DB. I like this Blunt card. The only reason why this Blunt might not be one spot higher is the fact that they took out free safeties from the sub safety spot in the game. So like you can no longer have him as a user. You have to sub him in during the game into your linebacker spot instead of putting him in your lineup. So just that one minor annoyance is why this guy with 85 speed, 86 acceleration, 83 change of direction, and 86 agility, that's why he's what, 4 instead of 3. I actually knocked him a spot due to that. So Joey Blunt, great card, but you got to sub him in your user. Otherwise, actually, he's a really good free safety too. You can just kind of leave him back there. The issue is zone coverage being 78. I run my safeties more on zone than man, but as far as a free safety in a man scheme, this one really can't be beat that well, I would imagine. at 85 man coverage and 85 speed. That's actually really nice. All right, next up, number 3. We're going to another big body, Hunter Henry. I was actually surprised going through this list how much I like this Hunter Henry. Like, especially going through the tight ends and everything going on with them. He's tall, and he's actually reasonably fast. Now, would I recommend this Hunter Henry over someone, say, that was like, oh, well, Hunter Henry's good, but I think I'd still rather, for a fraction of the price, it's not that fractional, to be fair. I'd rather have Darren Waller, who is, I think, 6'6" with 83 speed. 1 more inch plus half the price of Hunter. But Hunter's 70 run block. I think Waller's around 69 area, 68. But overall, I think this Henry has a little bit more catching. So Henry will hang on to the ball better. He's also 250, which is good, right? I think weight does play into a little bit of, like, you know, how much your momentum gets stopped by hit sticks and everything. So that plays into, like, whether the ball gets jarred loose. I'm not going to say he's going to have glue on his hands. He's not Jerry Rice in the 80s. But I do think Hunter Henry will be a solid tight end, and that's why I got him at number 3 with a big body. Now, I know high points got nerfed, so you can no longer just high point the seams, but I still think a big body tight end that with a decent amount of speed is a good weapon. Number 2 is Mr. Evans, a DB and a big one at that. So I still think length and height is so very important in this game. Maybe not as important as it's ever been. Like last year, I feel like it was like a must, or else you were just getting high pointed to death. Even down the field on a lot of the passes, you really got messed up a little bit. Where is Evans? I'm shit. Oh, there he is. So he's on my team. I've used him. I think his first game with me, he got 2 interceptions. Maybe it was a second. I think the first game, the guy actually quit out pretty soon. But yeah, 2 interceptions. So 6'2", which is good for a DB. 85 zone, 85 speed, 86 acceleration. So he's basically got like the top end stats that all the DBs have had, plus height. So he's the kind of style of corner I want, a zone based one. And he's big. So this is why I like a Caleb. Is it a Caleb Evans? Is that am I saying it right? Anyways, and number 1 is a Brown, Grant Delpit. He is a strong safety. Now, I would argue that he's not the best user in the game, but he's dang close. I'd probably take that 87 strong safety. Shoot, what's his name? I'd probably take him at number 1. Name's escaping me right now. But I really do think this Delpit card at strong into the box is a great one too. 84 speed, 85 acceleration, agility 85, change direction 83. But really, you can't teach height, man. I guess you can't teach any of these. These are just numbers. Can you teach numbers? Maybe. Isn't that what AI is? Taught numbers? But whether you're using him or having him in zone, out there on the field, I think he's going to hold his own. And for that reason, Delpit is my number 1. That's the list. Let me know where you guys agree, disagree, who's played well for you. Like I said, I looked through the abilities. I didn't really find anything I love. There's some good ones. Like I know some people using Stonewall and everything. But overall, I don't think there's anything glitchy, great knockouts or anything like that. So you guys can decide on that. But anyways, that's my list.